Hey, Dom. Sola was wondering if you could enchant a set of hammers after all. She's finally ready to use them.
Of course, but why isn't she asking me to do it herself?
She's been a bit busy with the Tarmakine stuff she's working on.
Right. I'm happy to enchant the hammers. I'll need cinder linen to do it, though. Do you have any on you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Here.
Perfect. I've still got some of the byproduct from your drake harvest as well. I'll enchant them right away. Do you think I should be the one to bring them to Sola? Or would she prefer that you do it?
Why don't you bring them? This Tarmakine project is really important to her, and I think it would mean a lot if you helped out.
You're right. She's the love of my life, after all. I'm happy to help. But maybe you could join me? After all, you're the one she's been entrusting the details of her work to. Maybe she'd rather you be there.
I could come, if you really think that's best, but it kind of seems like the two of you should...
Great, it's settled. We'll both go.
Yeah. Okay.
Sword and ball. Use these well. Worth the materials, I'd say. Most people couldn't even stand straight wearing one of those. You, however... This isn't working. The forge isn't hot enough.
I've stoked the forge before.
No, this work is somewhat more precise. It's not all bad news. I can forge a set of Tarmakind arms now. I'll give you the design. But the remaining pieces are too large to make without reaching the temperatures that Xavier was able to at his forge.
Solar, it's all right. We can figure this out. Maybe we need something stronger than cinder linen to augment the hammers.
No, enchanting isn't the solution. Sev and I need to head into Denevron to get Xavier's forge. It's built for this.
And it's exceptionally heavy. You and Sev are strong, but do you really think you'll be able to get it back here?
We have to try.
My love, I know this is important to you, but do you think Xavier's forge is a long-term solution? The caravan won't be able to carry it. You'll need to leave it behind when we start traveling again.
I don't want to keep traveling. I want to settle down. I want to stay in one place. I want a home.
But we're weavers. Our home is the open road. Traveling is what we do.
It doesn't have to be.
Staying in one place, it's not the life we decided on for ourselves.
It's not the life I thought I could have. But here, in the Enclave, it's possible. We could be weavers and stay. You could enchant. I could teach smithing. I could unravel the Tarmakind techniques and pass them on to a new generation.
You've clearly spent a great deal of time thinking this through. Without me. It's not what I planned for myself, though. Or even a life I want, for that matter.
But we're married. If we don't want the same life, where does that leave us?
I don't know.
I might be overstepping, but you both should take a beat. This is escalating fast. Everyone can see how much you love one another. You'll work this out if you come back to the conversation fresh.
Prince right. I need some space. Maybe it's best if we take some time apart.
Wait, I didn't mean...
Fine.
Solar, are you...
I don't even know what just happened. I can't believe he just... left.
He was caught off guard. It will be okay, I promise.
I don't know anymore. Worth the materials, I'd say.
How you doing, Sola? That discussion with Dom was a little rough.
I'm frustrated and hurt. I feel like I don't ask for much, and when I finally do, he acts mystified.
He absolutely could have handled that better. But I think he was genuinely caught off guard.
How is that possible? I feel like I've been trying to tell him for ages. Or hint at it, at least.
Maybe that was the first time he really understood, though.
Maybe. I just need some time. And space.
I don't know if space is the best.
I can't have that conversation again right now. Especially if you won't consider...
Arik, about those statues in Upper Denevron.
You mean the Friends of the Eye?
No, I was talking about the champions.
Ha! Some of them, maybe. But you could be the most heroic weaver in the world, and unless you're cozying up to leadership, there's no statue being built in your honor.
Huh.
Anyway, what do you want with them?
Well, we're wondering if there could be a familial connection between someone in our band and one of the figures represented on the statues.
You could dive through the archives we've preserved in Casten's Hold on all our heroes. That's the slow, boring way.
Don't let Lane hear you say that.
Or you can compare mantles to see if their patterns are a match.
You can tell two people are related through their mantles.
The spindle could tell you more about the science behind it. But from what I understand, there are similarities across bloodlines in how a weaver's cloth pulls magic from the air. A pattern tracer allows us to analyze those similarities between two weavers' patterns. I'll give you a design for it. Once it's built, take it to the Axle and she'll trace the mantles for you. We've preserved mantles belonging to all our heroes in Casten's Hold.
Thanks, Arik. Aurea will be pleased.
Aurea? For what it's worth, she's twice the weaver any of those statues might claim to be. Ah, Bryn. Hello, yes, hello, that's right, that's
Breathe, Dom.
Yes. Yes, of course, I just, not feeling myself. Yes, flames, yes, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
I think maybe you two have some things to talk through. After a little time to cool off.
I had no idea she wants to stop traveling.
We all have to slow down sometime. We can't be on the road our whole life.
Well, yes, she had, I suppose, brought it up once or twice, but I assumed she meant later. Like our dotage.
At least it's out there now. Take a bit. Think about what she said. What she might want, and what you want. There's a way to make it work.
I shall. Yes, because I would very much like it to, as you say, work.
Did you learn anything?
When I asked Sev about the wheel symbol? No. He was pretty evasive.
Being evasive is, in and of itself, rather telling. Means we're onto something of note.
How did you know I asked, anyway?
I watch people closely. A habit so deeply ingrained you could call it a groove at this point.
You know, our lawkeeper would love to meet with some of the populace. They could record some oral histories. There must be thousands of stories of surviving the surge.
I'm sure your band is curious about our Hearthsiders, but that's out of the question.
Can I ask why?
Eye's orders. Your Weaver band is to be kept isolated from the populace. He believes that your presence would be disruptive to everyday life. I don't agree entirely, but you must understand this is a precarious situation. Even the scouts are isolated. Word from outside Cassidans has caused panic in the past.
Shame. But I understand.
If you're interrupting my petition reading time, I hope you're bringing me some good news.
Nothing but. The way's clear for the scouts to start retrieving those supplies.
Anything to add, Arakim?
I'm shaken to my core by the revelation that one can achieve things without forms signed in triplicate.
Interesting. I won't argue with success, especially when it keeps our people going. Bryn, since you've proven yourself useful, I've considered the ways in which you can assist us further. We'll need Isla's help for this next step, though.
Oh, we're all on a first-name basis with her, are we?
I should hope so, yes.
As it turns out, I'm actually in the middle of helping her with something. I'll come find you when she's free.
Good to know. Don't let her do anything dangerous, please.
It's actually quite dangerous. She's got a surprising thirst for excitement.
I never expected her to be such a rebel. Who knew?
Oh, I've never seen that side of her before. What are you helping her with?
We're doing some discreet research.
I'm going to assume that the Eye hasn't been looped in on it, then.
You'd be correct. And I'm sure he won't be?
That would be counterproductive. And I think she would be upset by that. Regardless, I will refrain from moving forward with my plans until she's free. Do let me know when you're done helping her. Two crates of mantle supplies, 4 sets of calm steel bearings, 3 sealed vats of darter grease.
Sounds like a wild party you're preparing for.
Not really my scene, Bryn. Do you need something?
I wanted to pick your brains some more, if you've got time.
If I stare at this inventory list for a second longer, I may succumb to madness. Ask away.
How's your relationship with the spindle?
Isla? It's fine. We have a good relationship, I think.
Do you enjoy working with her?
That is irrelevant to the demands of my work, but yes. She is kind and thoughtful and willing to compromise, despite everything.
Everything?
Well, you've met her father. Now imagine if he was your direct superior.
Say no more. Have you thought about what you might do once the Surgeborn are under control?
That's a big assumption. I don't know how things are outside of the Enclave, but in here, we live every day knowing we may not see the next. Doubly so now. Hope for the future is a luxury. We are thin on luxuries here.
Sure. But you have to start planning for the future someday. Would you ever consider running for the Eye's seat?
I would not presume to challenge him for it, even if an election presented the opportunity. If he tripped over his own feet and fell into the ocean, thereby vacating the position, that would be another matter entirely.
So I take it that you're not happy with how the Eye is running things?
It is not my place to question his decisions. He sealed the Surgeborn away, saving us from annihilation.
But he doesn't seem to be happy with you. And you clearly disagree with him on some things. Wouldn't you be a better leader than him?
We have different opinions, but that doesn't mean I aspire to hold his seat. I'm focused on serving the people I represent. That's all.
Well, thanks. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time. There's just so much to learn here.
It's fine. You're refreshingly nosy. Look at me, sounding like Arakim. Perhaps we did need a breath of fresh air in here.
What is it?
I was curious about that symbol you wear. Kind of looks like a wheel.
It is a water wheel, of sorts.
Some symbol of the Enclave, then?
No, it's not.
And
this conversation is over. I hear you've been accessing our supply caches in the underworks.
not exactly. I've just been clearing the way for the scouts, as per the Axel's request. She says you've been short on supplies for quite some time.
Then there's no problem at all. Assuming you're telling the truth, that is.
I can't imagine what we'd get from lying or stealing. We've got an incredible quartermaster and a world-class smith. We're kind of doing fantastic at this whole thing. Well, especially since we, landed here by accident.
In time, your true intentions will reveal themselves. And first impressions have not served you well.
Something's been bothering me about the loom gates.
You're going to ask how I got to your camp without connecting you to Cassidon's.
Yes. I've been reconnecting all the gates as I discover them.
We developed a way to move through the gates without a permanent connection. When Asylum activated, it severed every loom gate, cut off the Surgeborn, which gave us a huge edge. But the scouts needed to move around without opening paths for them. So, the High Enchanter did their thing.
Is that why the hold's still cut off from the other gates?
It took a lot to convince the Council to even allow a connection here. My teams have started to deploy with the recovered gear from the Institute, like a pebble starting a rock slide. Each team's able to clear more, recover more, and with that gear, we send more teams. Only downside is that the Eyes got us on a priority hunt for some really esoteric resources. True to form, he won't tell us why. Just, you'll be informed of the purpose when the time is correct, Arik.
Sola and I suspect he has some kind of arrangement with Sev as well. The Eye's clearly moving on something.
Is that so? I'll keep my horns in the air and see what the wind whispers. Regardless, we'll do the best we can. And thanks to you, we've got a fighting chance now.
A cave should not be this hot.
There are times I wish our forebears had cut a few corners. But no, everything still works decades later. It just works wrong.